In 1997, a film came out that instantly became a cult classic called Starship Troopers. You had big bugs getting mowed down, a very funny script, and Denise Richards. Oh, Denise Richards. Beautiful woman, questionable taste in men because she married Charlie Sheen. Now, there's been several Starship Troopers games that have come out over the years, but there is a brand new one coming out called Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War. Now, this game is being brought to us by .emu, and the fine folks over at .emu asked me if I wanted to take a sponsored look at this game, and I said, yes. It looks like a boomer shooter, and I guess I'm getting to the boomer age with a classic retro-inspired first-person shooter action, and I definitely liked what I saw from this game. Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War will be coming out on the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2, and on PC, and there's a demo out right now for the game on Steam where you can check it out for yourself. I've checked out the demo, and I have quite a few things I want to say about this game. So when you start up Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War, you could see that, like, the tone of the film and the feeling of kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff is very prevalent in pretty much everything that you are doing. It even features General Johnny Rico in the game with video and audio, so that's super cool. And I really like the concept of this game because a lot of the sort of retro-styled first-person shooters, you know, they kind of take away from the corridor aspect, you know, your traditional Doom clones and stuff like that. Very linear paths, whereas Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War is very free-roaming. You pick your mission, and then you pick the difficulty level that you want to do the mission on, and then you fly in and you're thrust into well, as you can see, an ultimate bug war. Now, there are various missions on the map itself, and you can do them at your own leisure. There's no real sort of set path. You do have to do all of the missions, but you can figure out which mission you want to do and when you want to do it. And I think that gives a lot of freedom to kind of the gameplay because it feels like you're kind of dropped into this somewhat large sandbox level. It's not anything like GTA level as far as the size and scope of it, but the level themselves are pretty interesting in terms of the size and what you could do in the mission variety on them. And I like having sort of the freedom of choice to be able to choose which missions I want to do in what order. Now, the missions that I got to check out were essentially, you know, basic things. You have to go to an area, do something in the area, and then sort of hold down the area. But I do like how you have a wealth of different options when you're in these areas. Sometimes you'll find turrets, like I'm on right now, that you can use when you are battling the waves of bugs. And then when things get really crazy, you get like these larger bugs that are, well, a bit more challenging. I mean, this dude did take me out a few times. As you could see, you could take out your teammates as well with some friendly fire, so you got to be careful with that. The teammates are very chatty and kind of telling you about things and, you know, hoping the best for you and stuff like that. I like it. I like the vibe that the game has when it comes to doing things and when you're doing things. Of course, there are supplies that you could pick up as well to restock yourself. You can actually call in a supply drop to get additional ammunition or another weapon or even health. These are limited to what you can or how often you could get them in, but I like it. You know, it's got a good feeling to it. You have a melee attack. You actually have like a kind of a snarky button as well where you can like salute the enemies and stuff like that. I don't know if that really has like a role in how things like work and like maybe the bug gets a little bit madder. I didn't notice anything like that, but I thought it was interesting enough. Obviously, you can run, you can crouch, all of that sort of stuff. One thing I like is that there is an active reload system when you are reloading your weapon, and so you can basically hit a button when you are reloading it to put it in a middle sort of little thing that's going on, like a little bar that fills up, kind of like you saw in the original Gears of War, the tactical reload, but it does allow you to reload your weapon faster. Now, this is a single-player game. Some people were probably expecting this to be a multiplayer game, but it is a more single player story driven game that you are encompassing, and I think that works in this sort of thing. Not everything needs to be crazy multiplayer, you know, if especially when you're doing a retro inspired shooter. And I think it actually is a strength of the game, instead of trying to make something that constantly requires other people to play with you and constantly requires online stuff. Sometimes it's very nice to just have a standard single player retro inspired shooter, and I think that is one of the strengths of the game, although, you know, some people may kind of disagree with me on that, but I think it works in the context of this. I think the game itself really flows very nicely, and every mission, while, you know, the core concepts are kind of the same, it does get to feeling a little bit different. You get different weapons as you go along here, and then I got this cool thing here, and I didn't even realize, like, I saw one of my teammates using one, and I was like, wait a minute, I can use this too? Like, this is awesome. This is super cool. You can just mow down crap, mow down these little bug things. You got a chainsaw on it too. Like, very, very cool stuff. I like how they have things within the level to kind of switch up the gameplay a little bit. Not even necessarily switch it up, but just make it feel fresh throughout the levels that you are playing with it. There's destructible stuff happening in the level as well, with different things you can destroy. And of course, we have to talk about one of the main things that I think really lends itself to making this game stand out from other, you know, first-person shooters, and that is the visual style. I absolutely love this visual style. I think it's kind of like a voxel style a bit, but like a bit cleaner and stuff like that. But I think it really suits this game nicely. You know, the enemies, all the bugs, you can have tons of bugs on screen that are just like overwhelming you at times. The blood and stuff like that. Some bugs bleed green, some bugs bleed red. Good Lord, what a tongue twister. But I really like the visual style. It's very clean. The frame rate stays consistent throughout. I had absolutely no dips. I am playing the Steam version of the game in this demo here, but I had no issues, and like, I don't have a super powerful computer or anything like that, so I had, you know, nothing to complain about in that. But I definitely really enjoy the visual style. I think it makes the game kind of stand out and be unique. And just, yeah, overall, this has been like a super fun experience. And yeah, that didn't go too well for me. I probably should have moved out of the way a little bit quicker. But the mission variety within it, the sort of lack of structure as far as when you could tackle the mission, the open areas, the obscene amount of bugs that you could spray down, the cool weapons, and the deviations in the gameplay, I think this game is going to be super fun. Like, you know, .emu doesn't really miss. Like, I can't think of a .emu game where I was like, oh, this game isn't good. And because, like, I don't really think they have any of them. And I think this is going to be a really well-received game, and a game that people are going to enjoy checking out. So, yeah, like I said, you know, there's a free demo available now on Steam that you could check out and play the game for yourself. And I highly recommend checking it out, man. I have a link in the description box down below where you can get more information and check out the demo. So if you're interested in this game, please do click that link to support the channel and make it so .emu likes me and they see people using my link. But let me know what you think of this game in the comments section down below. Are you interested in Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War? Because you should be if you're a fan of like retro first-person shooters, because I think this game is super, super unique. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. A huge thank you to .emu for sponsoring today's video. You guys are awesome. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.